And let's have another quick run through the third game at Warfare 2025 for the Numidians. This time they're again facing another late Roman army, always a popular choice. And as you can see, this one is much more textbook, doesn't have any horrendous camels for my army. So you've got a big block of legions with the integral bolt shooters shooting overhead in the middle. You've got the big block of auxiliary and their archers over here. And you've got a mounted wing, charging cavalry, lancer cavalry, some light horse to support over there. The waterway has gone down, which has cluttered the table somewhat, narrowed it quite a lot. I've got a vineyard-covered hill, good for placing ambushes. I've got a field that sort of squeezes the cavalry in here. And actually, with this little amount of space on table, what I've elected to do is send the small cavalry command on a flank march over on my left and use the legionaries kind of as a block here. I was guessing the legions would come down the middle, so they can go toe-to-toe there. I'm just going to refuse this side. I've got a small ambush in here, a couple of light horse. This is all part of this same general's command. And then that means the tribal warriors, the elephants, a couple of cavalry, they can just put pressure on this side of it when my flank march comes on as well and try and sort of roll things up from my left-hand end. So let's have a look what happens here. We start off with an unreliable general with the heavy infantry and the elephant, which, to be honest, is fine. This is why this is an unreliable command. It kind of is in a position where it has to be attacked, so that will reactivate it, bring it back to life. But a little irritating that I'm not fighting here, but actually probably it keeps me where I should be. Over on the other side, what have we got here? We've got the cavalry coming forwards, but they've already left some behind. They know the flank march is here. It's not coming on the seaborne side. Light horse up front, then the cavalry behind. And what I'm doing here is getting a line of cavalry, elephants supported Spaniards, elephant itself, elephant supported Spaniards. So there's kind of a 5-wide block of stuff against this 3-wide block of combat troops here, keeping the javelin safely out the way or out on the flank. And then my light horse are just pushing up here just to threaten anyone who comes in as well. So this is, I'm happy to take on 3. I'm glad there's not 5, but that's what the flank march does really. So over there, yep, my ambush is triggered. That brings these guys back to life. The auxiliary are just sort of sweeping around. I've got a screen of light horse there, but I'm not really planning to engage them or slow them down, to be honest. I'm just hoping to sort stuff out on the rest of the table more quickly. And over here, this is also starting to go a bit more quickly as well. The cavalry have come forwards. They're still sort of waiting for the flank march to come on. They're trying to drift over this way, but equally I can extend that line with light horse javelin men. And they've had to bring some of their own light horse to protect this flank as well, because there's not too much here. But 3 of my javelin arm light horse against 1 enemy light horse, that's pretty tricky for those guys, and it will expose that flank. So over on the other side, yeah, the strategy is just run away. The longer it takes these guys to get around here, the better. All I'm defending there is time, and I've just left 1 block of imitation legionaries there while the other 4 kind of steam off towards the middle. There'll be a bit of a speed hump, but I've got a big army. I can probably afford for them to die. A bit unlucky if you're those guys, but that's the way it works. So over here, what's happening? The cavalry are still sort of driving forwards. They're still waiting. Not entirely sure what that thing is, but I'm glad it's on the table, not on a chair. But again, just because all my guys are light cavalry, they're all javelin armed, they all shoot. So I can ping a lot of javelins at this guy, a couple more javelins at this end, try and erode them, even some with our light foot. And still, the elephant protects these 2 guys. The cavalry are kind of okay, and we've just got much more width, and these guys can't really do a lot against any sort of infantry, to be honest. So, time starts to sort of run out. They decide to charge and see what they can achieve, engage over here. Gets a little bit complicated. They really don't want to fight the elephant. What they've done, they've gone in. Let's look backwards. So slightly offset. So those 3 have gone in. They've conformed to these 2 as they have to. What that does is push this guy back. So he's actually in the zone of death behind this guy, and now he can't move. He can't get away until his next turn. So I can do a bit more shooting at him. Looks like this one's already taken a hit. That one's fighting someone with the elephant. Fingers crossed. Let's see how this goes. Well, it's not too bad for the cavalry. There, another one that's gone up to 2 hits. But the important thing is, while these guys have been distracted, I've done the classic move with when you greatly outnumber the opponent's light horse. You whiz around the back with 1 of them. That stops him evading away. Then you attack him with a bigger, better group. So suddenly they're a unit down and the flank has been exposed over here. I'm pushing the javelin up to start shooting these guys and make sure this gap, nobody to squeeze through there as well. So over there, bang, killed that guy next to the elephant. Got the one behind him as well. They're only down to one cavalryman there. Got another one just with this repeated shooting of javelinmen, which is pretty effective. These haven't even been called into play yet, so this flank is going pretty well. Over in the middle, 5 enemy legionaries against my 4, but I've joined these guys up to just give me a bit of an overlap or possibly threaten here, particularly now all these cavalry on this side have been wiped out. And we're just pushing forward. I'm going to have to fight and kill some of these guys, even if I do wipe out all the cavalry to break the army. And over on this side, you can see that big block of auxilia has come through. Most of my troops have got away, but some of them are being left in the way, and it's just time. But that's partly again why I've shoved these heavy infantry up in the previous picture. They need to get fighting and do some damage to these guys before this lot sort of sweep round and start eating the baggage. But everything here apart from this guy can run away, so it's not too bad. So we've been talking about these light horse for quite some time, and suddenly they're unleashed, they're free. One of them comes in the back of this guy who's carrying on fighting bravely. The others sort of sweep into the middle. We're surrounding this guy, javelining him to death, throwing these guys in as well, threatening the bolt shooters, scaring off some of the light horse. A couple of units of light infantry are just left lurking, and suddenly on comes a flank march as well. They've almost been forgotten about, but there's only a couple of cavalry here. So what I do is I speed through, good pips to come on. So my general fights with an overlap against this cavalryman. I get another couple of light horse overlap into this one as well. I'm trying to do a quick break through the baggage. And in the middle, we've engaged the legions. We've got our heavy infantry and those javelinmen in acres of space, because the cavalry were driven off, able to start hitting these guys in the flank. This lot are taking a bit of a pounding, 2 hits there from the overhead bolt shooters, but that's life. I just need to do some more damage whilst I sort of sweep people away here. And the elephant's lurking in the background, hiding behind those so he doesn't get bolt shot. Oh dear, over here, this general, 2nd battle in a row, 1st combat with advantages, manages somehow to lose. That guy doesn't get beaten either and breaks off or evades or something. That's a bit of a pain. So what have I got to do here? Well, now that guy finally has gone, which suddenly frees up all of these troops. So the elephant starts swinging around. He's going into the light horse. I've got more of these javelinmen, more light horse to come. They're even sort of supporting this combat back there. So everything that was in a big line here is now bursting into the middle to slam into here and try and tick this army over. Again, just sort of chasing these guys up, shooting them, trying to throw more resources into it. Just trying to finish them off, which really should have happened a lot quicker if the general had done his stuff. Over in the middle, you can see that extra bonus javelinman, the speed he's got around the flanks. He's killed someone here. He's into the bolt shooter, doing some damage to that. I am taking a pounding with these guys. It looks like one has already been killed actually outright by bolt shooters. These are losing, but I'm doing enough damage, given I've completely won on the left flank, to tip this army very close to defeat. Struggling here to really try and finish off the last few dregs of these. Anything I can pick up would be great. This one, if I can actually kill this guy, I'm not sure there's anyone in his, any friendly troops who are close enough for him to get to. So he might even end up being killed accompanying a light infantry, if he can. I kind of knew this was going to happen. The auxilia, I've not really got a lot to stop them with. This guy stopped some of them, but the archers have just whizzed through, taken my baggage. But again, big army, I'm still winning. I can just about afford that. Over in the middle, some of the legions are done, but Smash the elephant goes in, finishes off another block, comes in with these guys in support, killed off the bolt shooter. So suddenly, all avoiding this sort of great big thing. They're all over there. Not quite sure who said nothing there, but they've killed all their opponents with bolt shooting, but so much damage has been taken to the army, and that really is pretty much it for this this late Roman army. And it's another victory for the Numidians, particularly as they finish it off by just about managing to do something with the flank march, supported by that huge breakthrough on the left to finish off these cavalry, catch up the last ones, and that does tip the enemy army over the brink into defeat.